and welcome to No Such Thing as a Bad Movie. I'm April Atmansky, or you could say April Boo Mansky, maybe. And I'm here today with...
Justin DeClue!
You kind of like petered out there. I think it was the internet.
It was a howl.
Oh,
Okay,
it just got cut off.
I think you're going so high that we can't hear you.
Yeah.
Because I'm calling the ghost coming in.
It was like one of those videos you see online of like, a lion cub roaring for the first time. It was like...
They can't.
You know, when you hear my real audio, it'll be like your hair will be blown back, like that guy sitting in the seat.
Once again, I am very unprepared.
I know, I just sprang it on you
Colin
guys.
Corpse Cunningham.
There you go.
I don't know why I'm
Here we
saying
use
it like
him.
that.
Technically,
So-
this is not a Shocktober episode. I thought it was
true.
going to be, but I was wrong.
It's gonna come out on September 30th, but you know what?
Whatever.
In my heart, I am ready for all the horror movies. Bring them on.
This is a good way to start.
This is not
Spooktober.
a horror movie. Well, today we're talking about.
I would
Ernest
argue with
Scared
that,
Stupid.
April. We'll get to
Yeah.
it, but
Okay, you're right. It is. Yeah. Okay. So Ernest Scared Stupid. Now, Justin, you're a bit more of the Ernest expert than we are.
You're an earnest head.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
I am.
I mean, I grew up watching the Ernest movies and like the commercials and stuff, but there was never like one movie that I watched all the time. I think we caught them on TV, maybe we rented them. I remember like bits and pieces. I definitely remember the beginning of Ernest Goes to Jail because there's some kind of case of
We murder somebody.
no, there's like a mistaken identity type thing.
Oh, okay.
But
Well, this is my first Ernest movie.
Yeah,
I've
I'm
never
not sure
seen
if
one.
I've ever seen this before.
No, I only knew Jim Varney from the commercials when they originally
and
aired.
from his great Simpsons appearance, and of course, you're a big fan of the Beverly Hillbillies reboot movie.
I actually did
who
like
isn't?
that movie. Also, Toy Story. He
Toy
did
Story,
the
yeah.
voice in that too. Yeah.
So, for people that are under me and April's ages or older like Colin, Ernest is a Jim Carrey-like figure who has
Yes.
a fascinating history of how he came to prominence, which was basically Jim Varney was a very talented sketch comedian guy who was kind of a journeyman for a long time. He appeared on the Pink Lady and Jeff TV show, which was like
Okay.
two Japanese comedians who could not speak any English. They were given like a variety show. And he started doing commercials as this Ernest character, which was mostly him like breaking into Vern's house, being like, "Hey Vern, let me show you this." Blah, 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 blah. People loved it. They loved it to the point that I believe it was Michael Eisner was at like a county fair or something like that. Mickey Mouse came out, got polite applause. Ernest came out, and the crowd went wild. And Michael Eisner was like, "Who the hell is this Ernest guy? We got to get into the Ernest business." Now, I'm not sure if that led directly to his Pee-wee's Playhouse ripoff show. It's, "Hey, Vern," like it's me, Ernest, which is
Jesus.
exactly Pee-wee's. But it led to Ernest Goes to Camp, which was a huge hit. Ernest Saves Christmas, and I think Ernest Goes to Jail, and now this one, Ernest Scared Stupid.
Whoa, so this is the fourth one. I thought this was like maybe the first one or
Nope.
something.
And
see.
this is made with Touchstone money, which is a Disney subsidiary.
Right.
So it's
right.
slicker than the late period Ernest films where he slam dunks or goes to Africa.
Oh, God. Yeah. I just
tho-
saw the poster for Goes to Africa.
Those ones didn't play theatrically, right?
No, they went direct to video.
Okay.
How many were there? How many films?
Ooh, I don't remember
And
exactly.
didn't you watch them all in one day?
No, we watched all the post-Touchstone ones. So Ernest Rides
Okay.
Again, where he is like hunting down a Civil War cannon. And then Slam Dunk Ernest. I believe Ernest Goes to School. Ernest Goes to Africa. And Ernest joins the army.
How is Ernest Rides Again and Joins the Army different movies?
Ernest Rides Again, and he's just kind of like a normal guy that finds
Okay.
a cannon. He's not in the army. Ernest
I thought
joins
he
the
was
army.
driving like a tank or something.
This is not like Three Stooges Go to Space and Three Stooges in Orbit, which are completely different movies. No, Have Rocket Will Travel is the other Three Stooges.
Ernest, if he made one more movie, he'd be going to space.
I'm shocked he
know.
never did go to space. Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like, and then like Rocket Man came out and they're like, oh,
They're
God
like,
damn
we
it.
can't
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's already done. So is this your favorite Ernest movie, Justin?
You know what? I was very taken with Ernest Goes to Prison, which is absolutely bananas, which features an evil Ernest that Ernest gets confused
That's
for.
right.
And Ernest goes to jail, and it's shot like Dario Argento made it, like full colored lighting, like super surreal. At the end, Ernest gets flying powers powered by electricity.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Very
we have
fun.
to see that.
This is the one I probably have the most fond memories of, because when I was a kid and my parents would take me down the street to West Coast Video to rent a video, the family section, or probably just the bad family films they want to get rid of, were at like 99 cents to rent. And Ernest Scared Stupid, as a Goosebumps loving kid, oh, that was an easy pick for me. And we'll get into it, but boy, this movie scared the shit out of me when I was 5 years old.
There are some scenes in this where I'm kind of shocked that
For kids. Well, again,
the movie kind of plays to very, very young children, I would say. And there are some scenes where, like, if I was this age, I would be scared shitless.
I think this is, though, like a family movie. It definitely has, that kind of feel. Like, it's not just for babies. Like,
for sure,
the parents could watch this with their kids and still enjoy it.
Yeah,
well, it has like a level of a slickness and just like the vibe that films had in the 90s that you just don't really get anymore. Like, kids films just feel cheap. Like, it's for
and this
kids.
does
Who
not feel
cares?
cheap.
Yeah,
this
this-
has so much craft.
it does.
It does. Like, the practical sets, the costumes.
Yeah, it definitely has some Pee-wee like contraptions and stuff like
why
that.
in the 90s was everything Rube Goldberg machine?
Yeah.
People loved
weird
Pee-wee.
machine.
That's the only reason.
Well, no, it's like Back to the Future.
Oh, that's
that where
true.
it started. Everyone was an inventor. Everyone's dad was an inventor. Like, every movie.
Because it's fun. It like offers so many like visual opportunities to do stuff.
It's true.
Like, that's why you
It
do
was such
Rube
a
Goldberg
fad.
stuff.
You had the dad from Gremlins.
Yeah. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Now,
I should point
because we
out,
have
though,
cell phones, it wouldn't happen.
That Ernest is like, Jim Varney. It's difficult to separate both of them. He was a Rick Moranis-like figure in that he was a very good actor who could do many characters, but he got trapped in the Ernest mold.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Well, you can kind of see him like in this movie. I don't know if it's like a running thing, but he plays multiple characters.
I'm guessing that's in all his movies.
It
don't know if
depends
that's
which
a thing.
movie you watch. In the ones me and Will watch when we did our post-Touchstone Ernest marathon, that doesn't happen very often anymore. They're just like,
Okay.
we don't want to do it. It was more of the DNA of the kids' Saturday morning show, because it'd be like
Right.
skits, so you would play like multiple characters, and you feel them trying to like jam it in the feature film version when it doesn't really have a place there.
Yeah.
No, but it was good. It's nice seeing him play different roles.
I have
Yeah,
to say, when I was a kid, I hated that part, but as an adult,
Oh, really?
yeah.
I liked it.
I kind of like it. I like seeing him branch out, and yeah, I've always heard that he was actually like a classically trained actor who was really good.
He was like a dramatic actor.
Yeah, and this is funny. So I looked up young Jim Varney pictures. I got to show you, April, but he looks exactly like Tom Jane. Like,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's got this smoldering
Thomas
intensity.
But I love Tom Jane.
It's so funny. I'm like, my God, they could be brothers.
There's some very few like serious Jim Varney performances. There's one in like a William Lustig movie where he plays like an arms salesman, and he's really good.
Really?
So it's a shame that like he didn't get to do that more. Yeah. There's a deleted scene from a film that Billy Bob Thornton directed that Jim Varney was in. His big dramatic moment was cut out of the film, and he's good in it. Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
I think that there was some video we watched online that Hats Off Entertainment guy who did the Mrs. Doubtfire video, and it was like a whole rundown of his entire career and how he became Ernest and stuff, and it was really good. Check that out. It's a very good YouTube channel if you're into like 90s comedies and 80s comedies like we are.
Speaking my language.
Yeah.
Does he say that Mrs. Doubtfire's good?
Yes.
All right.
Well, let's not get back into that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, let's not
guys.
You know what? I might need to add that to my favorite movies list.
Okay, I'm
because
in the
it's
middle
so
of a
funny.
feud here. I'm like holding both of you back. Like,
Can we
okay,
do it
take
for the
easy.
podcast and it could be a
No.
head-to-head? Oh,
Oh
Because
my
it's
God.
a perfect movie and it's hilarious.
Face Off.
a perfect movie.
It's a little too long. I'll give you that. But other than that, I think it's a perfect movie.
All right, let's get to a perfect movie. Ernest Scared Stupid.
Yeah.
So this film starts with a bunch of public domain stock footage that Ernest is reacting to on a black screen. Now, I'm a nerd. I recognize almost every clip from this montage. So you get a little
knew you would.
Nosferatu, obviously, the killer shrews. You get a few shots of the Bela Lugosi film White Zombie, The Hideous Sun Demon, Beast from the Haunted Cave. These are all public domain films, which is why it's included in this.
Well, he's reacting to them. He's got like creep show lighting on him right now. It's
Yeah,
like,
he does.
It does. It's like the green and like lurid colors.
The thing that stands out to me about this scene is the theme song. It's very catchy. Yeah. And I
Can
don't
we
know,
get Danny Elfman without being liable? Danny Elfman?
Yeah.
It's like Danny Elfman set to like a hip hop beat.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it was really, really good. And I'm not a big fan of using public domain footage in movies, but it's all right.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
It was funny, I guess. It's a good idea for an opening credit sequence.
Sure. And Jim Varney is such a pro that he can just react to any. He's not even seeing the footage. He's reacting.
No.
Ooh, I mean, Jim Varney's like face is such a masterpiece of moving parts. Like he can move every single part of his face, and they're all big in a way that you see them move very easily.
There are some really uncomfortable close-ups in this movie, like Terry Gilliam-esque, like wide angle where you can practically see down his throat.
That is a kind of trademark of director John R. Cherry III, who created Ernest through his ad company and was the shepherd and director of, I think, almost every Ernest film except for Ernest Goes to School.
Right.
So
okay,
he made every one. So he did like the Touchstone ones and the very sad, like, oh, please don't make Ernest do this movies.
Oh no. Ernest needs money.
So that's what the commercials used
Ernest
to look
goes
like.
somewhere cheap, as a Simpsons
Yeah,
said.
he was part of the Cherry and Carden was his ad agency, which I did not know. But I remember the ads, and I can't remember what they were originally for.
It was like everything.
It was like a POV.
He sold. He was like selling like local business things.
Right,
Yeah.
and then I think it became like national. Everybody wanted Ernest.
But there was a point where he was getting
Like,
famous,
Ernest would
and
sell
he
anything,
was
he'd be
still
like-
doing these like smaller commercials for like New Jersey City car dealerships and stuff like that. Because he was so good at it.
I don't think I would trust a man like Ernest trying to sell me something. He seems a bit of a dullard, if you will.
Yeah, and Vern is always like
pretty dumb.
slamming the door on him. It's like,
Why would you want to buy this?
It's like I'm watching Hardcore Henry.
yeah, he's one of those like annoying neighbors that just shows up and
Give us our hardcore Henry Ernest reboot where Ernest is all CGI.
But
and
you're
it's all from the
Vern.
point of view of Vern.
Vern is like doing parkour trying to escape
Get away
Ernest.
from Ernest.
Hardcore Vern.
And you know what? Who
Vern.
can play the mocap? Charlton Copley, of course.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
It's amazing.
I bet he's got an Ernest impersonation in him. He's a man of many voices.
He's like a modern day Jim Varney.
They're probably like the same age.
I would love
if
to
he
see
were
like
still alive.
Jim Varney play Chappie. He's like, hey, how you doing? He's like Chappie's
Yeah,
cousin.
But it
from,
would be in
like,
the 90s, and he'd be like all prosthetics. It'd be like heart beeps, like the robot that's like just horrifying looking.
He's like from Heart Beeps or something.
Yeah, he just said heartbeat.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Great minds think alike.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get to the movie.
How you
So
doing there,
it
Chappie?
Starts in the past, right? In
Yes, that's right.
1776 or whatever.
First,
Where you
yeah,
get
it's
a
like-
Vern-like POV. So wait, is Vern the troll in this movie? Because there's no Vern.
Yeah, that was weird.
he's chasing a child. Oh, that Vern.
And he
Yeah.
gets kidnapped and thrown into a pit. And an older version of Jim Varney playing an old man is
He's
like,
like Yeah, it's
Like
like
a
an
priest?
1800s preacher or something like that. This is like a pilgrim town or something. I think it's Briarville.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a Salem witch trial type thing. Only it's a troll.
And did you
You
guys
don't
play
see
with
it.
trolls a lot? And by that I mean April, because Colin was a little too old for that.
Yes,
did you
I
have a lot
had
of trolls?
I had a troll doll.
Like with the fuzzy hair?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And the little diamond.
Why do we like that? Like I had one too. I had a little Halloween one. He was in a little Halloween suit and he had green hair.
They're ugly.
What'd you do? Just like play with their hair?
You don't do anything with
You can
it.
brush
so.
their hair and that's about it.
I remember you would
Awful
spin them between
hair.
your hands and then their hair would just go crazy.
Yeah.
We were
it's like
playing
a
with our
doll,
troll
so.
dolls and we were making our slinky yo-yos or whatever.
Slinky, speaking of Jim Varney.
Oh,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
Slinky dog.
Slinky dog.
Oh.
Okay, so they're having like this like Salem witch trial for this troll.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like burying it, and I don't know what the troll starts speaking.
Yeah,
kind of
it's
explains,
essentially like, I curse you.
or your descendant, or something like that. Speaking specifically to Ernest here.
Or Jim Varney's
Yeah,
character.
you can't really understand what the troll's saying. It's like one of those.
Yeah.
But they bury the thing, and then they think they plant an oak tree on the
Yes.
location, and they say its roots will be your prison.
The troll's like, no! And the troll, like its plan is it just wants kids. It actually has a kind of, logical plan because it uses the kids to get more powerful. That's why it wants the kids.
Yeah,
as
it wants
opposed
to
just
start like a
eating them.
troll army or something like that.
And then we cut to this story is being told by a little blonde-haired girl. And man, only other than Eartha Kitt, just white people in this movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's a pretty white movie. Although I thought the child actors were good. Like,
Yeah, they're pretty good.
for the believe me, I've seen some really terrible child
Oh, yeah.
actors, and they were all pretty good.
Yeah, they're good. And they get a lot of
Especially
screen
this girl.
time.
Yeah.
Are they kid actors that like only acted once and then never acted again? Let me look.
I feel like no.
I feel like the girl has acted quite a bit since.
She did. She was in 6 episodes of the Buffy the Vampire Slayer season 8 motion comic.
Oh.
And
What?
She was in I Know Who Killed Me, scenes deleted.
I did see that movie, but I guess I didn't see her.
So you know what? She was able to act. Oh, she was in 13 episodes of The Good Life in 1994 as a kid actor, I assume.
Don't know what that is.
Don't know what it is. Revolves around John Bowman juggling his home life and the lock company where he serves as a middle manager. Boy, we were desperate for content in the 90s.
Good stuff.
Oh, Drew Carey
anyway,
was in the
she's
show.
What?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
my
she was
God.
good.
Yeah, she's good.
She's telling the story, and then she specifically says that the troll cursed his family with every generation would get dumber and dumber.
And then
Cut to Ernest.
Cut to Ernest, his face right into the camera. And he's like, he's a garbage man. They do some like background kind of naked gun gag, which is pretty funny in the school scene.
Yes.
You see the garbage truck drive by in the background,
yeah.
and like somebody's being dragged by it. I don't know if it's
yeah.
Ernest or not.
Yeah,
But
he's not noticing probably.
Yeah, we cut to Ernest, and he's a sanitation engineer, but he's rigged up some contraption, I think, to clean the garbage bins or something. It's like got mops, and he's got this big, controller.
Yeah.
He's got his cute dog,
Oh,
Rimshot.
okay. So I did a little
Rimshot.
research here because every time I see this dog, I'm like, was he in many of the movies? He was not. He was only in this one, and Ernest Goes to Jail. He is the third dog that Ernest got. I hope because he didn't kill them. His first dog was in the commercials. He was named Shorty. He was a border collie, and he also got a dog named Rover in a Hey Kids, It's Ernest special. That's it.
I figured it was a running gag in all of the movie. I guess not.
I like Rimshot is great in this movie. He's like a little Jack Russell with stumpy legs.
Yeah.
He's really cute.
Very cute.
Great actor. Great foil to Ernest.
Oh, yeah.
To
He's
play
like-
off of.
Yeah,
And he's one of
kinda-
my favorite things. A super intelligent dog who can do things like drive cars.
He's
Yeah.
driving cars. He's like helping. He's pulling levers.
Well, Jack Russell's had a moment in the 90s.
They did
He had
with
the
the
television show Wishbone.
That's right. The
That
mask.
may have only been, and The Mask. There
Yeah.
was a Jack Russell in that who also was kind of super intelligent.
Milo, he was great.
Yeah, they had like at this time, like my cousin family got a Jack Russell, and like, did that ever happen to you guys where it was like a bunch of like movies came out about a dog, and then everyone wanted that dog, a la Dalmatians?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Not really. I
It's a
can't think of
horrible
any
choice.
friends getting them. Did you like your Jack Russell, or was he like a little monster?
Her name was Lucy, and she was very not the best behaved, but she was okay. And then when she died, they got 2 more Jack Russells.
Oh my
after
God.
that, yeah.
Oh
And
my God.
I believe they are now also no longer with us.
Yeah, my friend got one, and crazy energetic
Yeah,
animals.
they're nuts.
Holy
They
God.
just cannot hold it in.
You
They're
see those things
crazy.
like those dog shows, and they run those obstacle courses. Oh my God.
It's the only way to calm him down. Run those obstacle courses.
Oh, he's still going like 10 times around.
So in this scene, Ernest gets trapped in the trash compactor and dies. So the
Rimshot-
rest is the death dream.
I am convinced that Rimshot is trying to murder him in this scene because
I thought he was trying to save him.
Ernest falls into the trash compactor in the back of the garbage truck, and Rimshot is the one that pulls the lever to start the crushing
This
machine.
would not be the only time that Rimshot tries to kill Ernest. There's a time later on involving a gigantic bear trap.
Which had me
Oh,
rolling.
yeah, that
is-
was fun.
Oh, that was so funny.
Okay, so I don't know. Is Rimshot anyone's favorite thing? Because I might take it. Because like
You take it.
he's so well trained. I mean, yeah, there are scenes where he's just looking at the handler.
There's
off
some
screen,
scenes
which is
where he's
fine.
supposed to be scared and he's shaking, and I'm like, what did they make the poor dog do in that scene?
They probably
Like,
just made it cold. I don't know.
He's just a great actor, guys.
Yeah.
He knows how to play the scene. Yeah, John Cherry was refrigerating the sets to like minus 20 degrees to get the performances that he wanted.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't like to see animals that are, in distress, but he looked okay in the movie,
Although there is one scene where he is spooked by the troll and his ears shoot up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we were
like
like,
a Bowery Boys joke.
how did they do that? My idea was that they blew air on him.
I don't think that's the
But-
They
case.
attach wires to his
Yes.
ears and pull
Okay,
them.
all
So
right,
that's how
all
they
right.
do
That's
that.
what Colin said.
April wants
so.
to believe the best in people. I don't. I'm very cynical.
I'm sure it
so-
didn't really hurt him. They probably just pulled his ears
That's
up.
probably
It was probably
better
uncomfortable.
That's
but
probably better than blowing air in his face.
why did you
Yeah.
think that was the more humane version?
Yeah, I wouldn't like
That would
that
freak
either.
dogs out. Like their
Exactly.
lips would be flying all over.
But I mean, the best
What
part
is he, the
with
mask or something? Like he's like smoking.
like the best part with Rimshot is when he doesn't help Ernest get out of the bear trap, and
That is so funny.
He's looking at the camera or at him in a way that is like it looks like sarcastic,
It
and
does.
it's a dog, but like and it's
And he's also
wearing,
dressed as a Cub Scout, which I guess Ernest got him a costume.
He's holding a gigantic stick that he uses.
Yeah.
He's supposed to use to like prop this gigantic bear trap open, but he's looking. Yeah, the way he's looking at Ernest is like.
the expression.
I'm not.
No.
I'm not going to
I
help
don't
you out.
So here we're introduced to a very disturbing concept in a lot of these 90s movies. Children should not be hanging out with these old men.
Yes,
No.
They do
100%.
all
Just
the time.
friends, yeah.
Especially ones with like the brain of a child.
Yeah. What if you went home, April, and you're like, oh, I have this like garbage man friend who is clearly like not all there. Would your
Yeah.
parents be like, oh, April,
Yeah.
stop hanging out with Ernest?
They do say like, you shouldn't hang out with him, but like they just let them do it anyway.
The sheriff, the girl's dad is the sheriff. He rightly pulls them over and tells the kids to get out and stop hanging around with Ernest. I'm like,
Yeah.
I would have taken him to jail.
yeah,
They love just going to Ernest's garage, and Ernest does like his impressions of like an old lady with a neck brace and I guess like
It's
a
like
World
Genghis
War II
Khan
British
or something.
general. Yeah.
It's like a British general. There's like Genghis Khan and like a Roman emperor or something, like
the
Julius
whole, like,
Caesar.
that like old lady is like a British like aristocracy woman that just happens to have a neck brace for no reason. But what's
It's
funny
funny.
is her necklace is attached to the brace. That's very funny detail.
And I'm wondering, like, his costume is changing. He's got makeup and all this sort of stuff. Are the kids like seeing this?
I wrote that
Yeah.
down. I'm like, is Ernest like leaving the scene, coming back in, or is his impersonation so vivid the kids can just imagine it happening?
Yeah, I think that's the case.
Well, what I
Yeah.
love about this scene is that it's like a montage in a movie where they go into a store, try on funny hats or costumes and stuff.
Ernest is doing impersonations.
It's just Ernest is doing it to camera. I liked it. It was funny.
The kid's loving it though. He has a big smile on his face. Like,
Oh, yeah. This kid, by the way, frees him from the garbage truck. And the girl's like, "Oh, well done," and he does a John Wayne impersonation.
Yeah,
Wow, thank
what?
you. I'm like, what kid is gonna know who the hell John Wayne is?
That was
It's
so out of
91,
place.
Colin. We didn't kids that in those days didn't have that many things to watch.
It's just John Wayne, or I don't know what.
It's just like,
Batman.
why is he doing this? It's Ernest is the one who does. He's been hanging out with Ernest too much, I guess.
Probably, yeah.
So he starts doing.
Yeah,
impressions.
Ernest, bad influence.
Yeah,
Get
exactly.
your kids away from him.
This kid looks like a little adult. Like he kind of has like an adult face.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Does he have like a bowl haircut? Or
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's like
yeah.
a bowl
why
with
did
like a
kids doom children in the 90s to those haircuts?
I don't know.
I don't know why they were so popular.
Do kids
I mean,
still get those haircuts? They can't, right?
Did
like,
you guys have one?
Must be a
Probably
hate
not.
crime.
I don't
didn't.
think-
Because I didn't have straight hair. I couldn't have
Yeah.
a bowl haircut.
Yeah, you probably had one, right, Colin?
I had one, yeah. But it wasn't like a bowl cut, but it was definitely just combed down because you didn't like in the 70s. I don't know, like hairspray and styling products weren't really around at that point.
Yeah.
Like,
And by
there
the
was some,
time
like-
the 90s came out, you were definitely not having
It was like
a bowl cut.
Aquanet. I remember.
If Colin had like a bowl haircut in his 30s, that would be so
Yeah.
funny.
I remember when
Give me the mo.
when styling gel first came out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, "What the hell is this?" My brother was showing me it's Dep gel, and like you put it in your hair. I'm like, "Whoa!"
Did
what
he
the
put
hell?
like way too much in at first?
Oh yeah,
It's like,
you get
what
a whole.
is this?
I just
thing?
wanted to like stick your hand in it. It's like, what is this stuff? It
Yeah.
came in a big tub, and it was like different colors and stuff like that. I'm like, wow, it like hardens, and I can style my hair now.
Well, now your hair's so short that you can't style it.
Yeah, I just don't bother.
Colin was so happy when he didn't have to put olive oil through his hair to get it up in the air. So
Well, didn't the punks used to put like egg whites in their hair?
Yeah.
To get the mohawks.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that start to smell pretty fast though?
They don't care. I don't think.
I'm sure a punk is going to be having a shower every single day to clean those out.
Yeah.
Where are all my egg whites going?
The kids build a little haunted house that they want to make other kids go through. Did you guys ever build a haunted house for your friends?
Oh no.
Didn't build a haunted house.
Built a murder cabin.
No. This haunted house that they build is so ramshackle and unsafe.
It's made of cardboard. It's
is-
like the snow forts I used to build as a child,
You
which
sneeze on
very
this thing.
surprisingly did not kill anyone.
Yeah, this thing is going to kill multiple people. It's like it is barely standing up. They need to see the building inspector needs to come and shut these people down.
Well, is this
When the bullies come over, they basically just breathe on the house and it falls over.
they just like lightly tap it and the whole thing collapses. But is it like she's bringing them through this like piece of shit and they're like,
Colin likes to go through children's drawings and critique them. He's like Maddox on the
pieces of
internet.
shit.
I can't even draw. But it's like they're going to invite the town children in to see this thing, and it's like 5 feet
terrible.
by 6 feet.
Yeah.
This thing is a death trap. That's the only horror is going to be them.
Colin
pulling the
is like
corpses
the
out.
person standing up with no children at the PTA meeting being like, think of the children.
I'm sure you know what's best.
So we're introduced to the bullies and they suck. They should just team up on these bullies and beat the shit out of them.
Oh yeah, there's like 2 of them. It's like
Yeah.
3 of the other
Your
kids.
typical 90s movie.
You know what they should have done? Invited them into the haunted house and then push it over.
Yeah. Yeah. Enjoy
So-
your death trap.
Of course, the kids go to, I guess, the only handyman they know, Ernest, to help them out.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, he does a bunch of characters and explains that you need the high ground.
I.e. a tree.
Yeah. So they go tree hunting. You got to find the perfect tree to build your tree house on. He finds one that's like hollow. He finds one that's occupied, gets shit
He
on
gets
right
shit on by a bird. I'm
was
sure
funny.
as a kid, I'm like, whoa, yeah, shit humor.
Yeah, it's like you'd be loving it. It's like a bucket of shit too. It's like
It's a lot of bird shit.
It's a lot of bird shit. But then they like take this like creepy looking tunnel through the forest and they
I would not go to the fog forest to build a tree house, but
Yeah.
you be you.
oh yeah, this looks like an alternate dimension or something like that. And the tree that they find, there's like fog rolling over the ground. It's like everything looks dead. It looks like the tree from Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah.
Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow.
Or
with
maybe
all-
like the tree from Antichrist.
Chaos reigns.
that would be so good. They're in like Lars von Trier universe.
Creepy trees. There's plenty of movies that have creepy trees. Evil Dead, there's an evil tree.
Oh God, stay away from that tree, kids.
Watcher in the Woods, doesn't that have a creepy tree in it? Or is it just the whole woods themselves, that Disney
probably.
movie?
Yeah, you've got
So they build a
you
tree
got the
house,
horrifying
which-
Ents from the Lord of the Rings.
Yes,
yeah.
that's true.
They bore them to death.
As a kid, I always wanted a giant tree house.
Yeah.
Never got one. My friend had one, and it was like a rich kid's tree house. He even had like a TV that his
What?
parents had like brought the cable to like plug into the TV of his tree house.
So it
Come
wasn't even
on.
an antenna, it was cable.
It was he had cable. I remember because the cable like barely made it up, so the TV was like pressed up against the side, and you couldn't move it anywhere else.
That's
So
funny.
annoying.
But yeah, what?
I
who
didn't
is
know.
this
Yeah,
kid?
I didn't know anybody that had one, and I think my cousin kind of had one in his back bush. It wasn't so much of a tree house. It was just like. It would be like somewhere like a hobo would live. It's just like these sticks like holding up a plastic tarp. Yeah, he really didn't want to go in there. And then we set it on fire by accident.
How? I mean, I guess you were a kid. You were playing with fire.
Yeah,
or
we were
you
playing with
smoking
fire.
cigarettes.
It was so bad. I was over at my cousin's house and we were outside playing with, I don't know, firecrackers. We love to make like little bombs and explosives. And then we accidentally set it on fire just as my dad was saying, okay, Colin, let's go home. So I was like, okay. And we were trying to put this out without our parents knowing. So we had to like, we got the hose from outside, ran it over, and the water wasn't turned on. So we had to run downstairs past my parents who were watching TV, turn on the faucet from the inside, and then run back out. I'm like, how's it going? Get ready. We're leaving. Like, okay, bye. And then we had to like put this thing out just as they came into the backyard. It's like
Did they find out?
No,
or did
they
you do
didn't.
it quick enough?
We're like, oh,
wow.
thank God.
Yes.
We were just panicking. It was like the smoldering ruins of this whatever.
So it wasn't like the whole tree was on fire or anything like that.
No,
was
we
it?
thought it was going to spread,
Okay.
so we were just shitting ourselves. And then, I get in the back of my parents' car, just like drenched in sweat, like, ha ha ha.
Don't play with fire, kids.
Yeah, don't.
No.
Be
Especially
cool.
when you were like Colin at this point, 25 years old. So moving on. There was no age was specified.
So have we met Eartha Kitt yet? Because at one point
we
she's
did.
like,
Oh,
don't
yeah, shit.
build a tree house in that tree. She
Yes.
warns them, and they don't listen.
Yeah, she plays old lady Hackmore. I got to say, she's my favorite thing about this movie.
She's great.
Eartha Kitt is fantastic. She
She's-
goes toe to toe with Jim Varney, I think.
I agree. She's mugging it up to the same level. She knows what is required of her. Now, I didn't realize she wasn't an actress. I mean, she is an actress.
she is, but
She acted, but she's primarily a singer.
primarily a singer.
Yeah.
So and as we were saying, like, with the experience on Batman, that's perfect for this movie.
Yeah,
like,
she's-
that type of acting.
she's really hamming it up, but like not too. And it's a really big performance, but you can tell like she doesn't feel like the material's beneath her or anything like
Yes,
that.
there's no like winking, like, yeah, I know what this is.
Exactly.
kids.
She's playing it just like Jim Varney is, and it's they're great kind of chemistry, good foils.
I want to know how she got cast in this movie.
I don't
because,
know.
like, she like, my kids love Ernest. Or my grandkids love Ernest.
I don't know,
Maybe
but
the writer was like, I just had her in mind, and then they approached her, and she said yes.
she gets a lot of screen time and is doing a lot of crazy things, and I could just picture, if they didn't have Eartha Kitt, it would just be like this really obnoxious character.
I
that
agree.
Wouldn't work too well.
That character could be highly annoying, but she wasn't.
She's really, really
was
good. Emperor's New
And
Groove.
so they build this treehouse though, and it's awesome. The bullies attack, and they like throw dog food at them and pizzas.
The contraptions they have, it's all food based for some reason.
They throw a whole pizza.
They have a pizza launcher.
Okay,
which launch-
so again, according to the IMDb trivia, it's because the prop master, Doug White, just had props from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze lying around.
Oh my
Oh
God.
no! Are you kidding?
But it's also commentary on the excess of the 90s that these kids just have pizzas they can throw away.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not going to throw pizzas away.
Yeah.
I mean, the cat food launcher, no problem. But and these kids are like cracking up. It's almost like Sam Raimi is off screen, like whipping stuff at these kids. Like, get me another pizza.
These two bullies against like 3 children and an adult man.
Yeah. But it's like the treehouse has like a window. It has like a white picket fence around it as well. Like it's just got all these.
they build all this in like an hour.
Yeah. Well,
And
it's Ernest.
from here on, we're getting into troll territory because Eartha Kitt says, don't build it. And Ernest is like, she told me not to put my hand against the tree and say these words.
But
Uh-oh,
like
who would
anything
do
is
that?
gonna happen.
Oh, you dummy,
and
Ernest.
then he does it because he doesn't believe it. And then like thunder sound effect.
Yeah,
Oh!
we see the troll like kind of stirring beneath the tree.
Now, these trolls are definitely my favorite. Well, Ernest is my favorite thing, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But these trolls are my favorite thing. Designed by the Chiodo brothers of Killer Clowns from Outer Space fame. And just that nice practical mask with all the moving parts, which must have been a
Yeah.
nightmare on set, and had like 5 puppeteers working them.
Yeah,
And-
the faces are really articulated, like the mouth especially.
Animatronics?
It's really, really good. Yeah.
So you'd see somebody with like basically what was like a complicated like RC racer thing offset, like pulling a bunch of things. And usually you don't see these in movies because they never work famously.
Yeah, they look very kind of stiff. Well, it kind of requires a lot of coordination and timing between like a team. So yeah, and they always look a bit weird.
But here,
this one,
they're always working. Yeah, I think it's because the Chiodo brothers are like hardcore pros in this kind of stuff. Like nobody does puppeteering better than them. Or I mean, this movie has no stop motion in it, but that's their other thing.
Yeah,
That, like if you see any stop motion in the 90s and it wasn't done by that California Raisin Man, then
Will
it was probably the
Vinton.
Chiodo brothers. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I looked them up, and I'm like, wow, they did a lot of stop motion. And then we just recently watched RoboCop, and they did the 6000 SUX commercial with the big Tyrannosaurus Rex.
is funny,
Its
yeah.
eyes bugging out.
Like they still do it. Like there's a stop motion episode of
The Simpsons.
What was it? Yeah, with some of them. Yeah, the like little stop motion Christmas thing is them too. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they
do so
did
much stuff.
the I don't know if it was the opening of Elf that was stop motion or
Yes.
there was a scene
it's the
in that.
opening of it.
Yeah, there was-
one of the characters is all stop motion in Elf, the snowman.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that was Jon Favreau, and then he produced a TV show that they did, apparently. It was like a I don't know, a Christmas special or something.
And now
like
they
that.
sold their Killer Clowns license to Spirit Halloween, and you can find a giant killer clown that you can buy for your home. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Getting that this Halloween.
I'd rather have this troll in my home than those things.
I'd rather have one of those like 100-foot skeletons you can get at Home Depot.
It's not 100 foot, it's 12 feet.
It's like 12 feet.
Yeah. April's like, can't wait to see this 100-foot
100-foot skeleton.
How
How'd you
high
even get
is
it home?
100 feet?
You gotta rent a crane to set it up in your front lawn. I just saw like an ad for the Killer Clowns video game, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Was it a video game?
It's a pretty big one, too.
Yeah.
They're doing all these like video games as like multiplayer things like Evil Dead and
That's right.
I don't know what the Killer Clowns would be. That Killer Clowns movie, I was never a huge fan. I found it very disturbing.
Never seen it.
Oh, I've never seen it. I don't even really know anything about it, really.
It was famously like the only feature they directed and was a huge flop when it came out. But now it's popular, as you know, these things go.
Well, it's a cult movie, right?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like the like Killer Clowns and like the Toxic Avenger. I never watched those or had any interest in them.
So these trolls are also, a signifier of this movie was made in the early 90s, because you know what we loved in the 90s? Slime, and lots of it.
Yes.
So much slime.
It was
Yeah.
a
So
thing.
gross.
So the troll constantly has a runny nose, and it's commented on many times in the movie. I don't know why. I guess they were just like, yeah, kids like gross stuff.
Yeah.
And that was happening at that was a moment.
There was a rule in the 2000s. I remember hearing the producer of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake saying it, that no more slime. Slime leaked a bad box office. All dry now. Which, I kind of agree. Slime, I don't know, man. I like slime, but it's gross.
I'm
Like
sure
Brian
there's
Yuzna
a-
films. Ugh.
I'm sure there's a good example of slime. I'm just not thinking of.
Anytime the troll opens its mouth in this movie, it's got these like tendrils of like spittle and saliva. It's really gross.
Yeah.
And then he's like, so he's like stealing the kids' souls and turning them into wooden statues.
Well,
of
we get it in this first scene. Terrified me as a kid, where this poor glasses boy gets separated from his friends, like falls down a pit, is like screaming, trying to climb up, and then you hear Ernest's voice be like, "Here, take my hand," and he looks, it's not Ernest, it's a troll man.
Yeah.
And then you see the kid like scream as he turns into a screaming wooden boy.
Yeah, I would be fucking terrified.
The troll
child.
can throw his voice. He can
Yeah.
imitate
Yeah.
other people, which
Yeah.
is
Which
also
is-
very creepy.
Probably the most terrifying thing you can do to a kid is not just monsters, but the idea that authority figures could be bad or trick you, which is
Yeah.
like famous why like the 50s movies Invaders from Mars terrified kids because it's about like aliens taking possession of, your parents' bodies and stuff like that.
Right.
So there's a little bit of this here. And what's really disturbing as a kid is when that boy turns to wood, you assume he's dead.
Yeah.
You don't think he's coming back. As an adult, you know that like they won't keep them like that, but you don't know that as a kid.
Well, we can always hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in this movie, the troll is just knocking off like everybody.
So many kids are being turned into wooden boys.
Oh yeah. And then it turns
or
out that
girls.
old lady Hackmore, Eartha Kitt, who I guess is in the opening scene flashback, or no?
I don't recall, but maybe there was a little girl in that was supposed to be her.
Yeah,
because
it's
she's
kind of-
related to the previous kids that were.
Yeah, in Briarville, because she has a bunch of
woodenized.
statues. Yeah, she has a
Yeah.
bunch of statues that I guess the troll made years earlier or something like that she keeps, which I think are their her sisters.
Yeah,
and
it's
brothers.
her family.
Horrifying. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
She kept them for 70 years.
Oh, Eartha Kitt. Keeping
and
these
she
wooden-
tells here that Ernest is the great redneck hope.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what they say. And
There's some really
takes pride
funny
in that.
lines that Ernest says, like just off the cuff, that it's easy to miss. Like Eartha Kitt says, if the troll gets 5 kids, it'll be all powerful and it will take all the kids of the world. And Ernest is like, just the kids? Like hopeful because he'll be okay.
Yeah,
He's riffing like through the entire movie. I think he doesn't stop
you
talking.
can tell.
Yeah.
And Eartha Kitt tells him they need the heart of a child.
Which, and I
to,
thought, I thought this was going to some dark places.
How does she
well,
know
Ernest
this?
says, listen, human sacrifice will definitely be a last resort.
I missed that.
But like,
Yeah.
how does she know that it's the heart of a child? Is it like in a book somewhere?
Yeah, she has a magical book, I assume.
Yeah.
The heart of a child.
Heart of a child.
Eartha Kitt. Batman.
And here, Ernest sets up a bunch of traps. He puts like a garbage can open, which leads to a very funny scene where the garbage can lands on his hands, and he does 2 very long double takes as he looks at his hand, looks back, looks at his hand, looks back, and then goes, "Ah!" I can't do an Ernest scream, but that patented Ernest yell.
And this is where the big bear trap thing is.
Yeah, this is
previously
this is
mentioned.
another child is kidnapped. Yeah, but the gigantic claw trap or bear trap. This is really funny.
So big, Ernest has to like spread himself over it.
I love
Spread
it.
eagle.
He's stretched out, he's spread eagled, and his body is like convulsing, like trying to hold this thing together. He plays it
Yeah.
very well. Like his physical performance is so funny.
Yeah, it's all in the acting.
Yeah, and he's like, Rimshot, hand me that stick. And Rimshot.
Rimshot! Now, you don't see a horrifying, like, Ernest puppet snap in 2,
Yeah.
which I wish you did. But
No, isn't it? It's all off screen, just done with sound effects.
Probably. Then he
it's more horrifying that way, just hearing Ernest's blood-curdling yell
scream, and then like a bucket of blood being sprayed all over Rimshot.
on Rimshot. Yeah.
Oh, poor puppy.
And just like shredded clothes and stuff like that. Oh god, yeah, his face, Rimshot in this scene is so funny.
I know. I need to take a screenshot of that.
Yeah, and I think so. At this point, like a lot of kids have gone missing in the town. Nobody's believing.
Yeah, there's a very scary scene for a child where a girl's like, "Mommy, check under the bed. Is there a troll?"
yeah.
And she's
Yeah.
like, "No, there's no troll." And then the girl's like, "Phew." And then she checks herself because she's brave. Then she goes back to sleep, phew, and then she turns around, the troll's right there in her bed.
Yeah,
it's like,
it's so
"Roar."
creepy.
Classic, but I like that this movie is a little scary. I mean, maybe I would have a different opinion of it if I saw it as a kid, but as an adult, I'm like,
Oh, you
this
like it. Kids
this
like to
is
be
fun.
scared.
Yeah,
They do.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like Return to Oz levels.
No, but I think like movies so often like pull their punches now. I think when it comes to spookiness, but it's like look what the fuck we were watching back in the
Yeah, because it's like Goosebumps, right? Which
Yeah.
the Goosebumps movie's fine, but it's so artificial, it feels fake.
Yeah.
Because it's all CGI, you're like, meh.
But
you know.
and we grew up watching the TV show, which was from the 90s and was very creepy.
Well, it was very cheap, but there was practical monsters walking around.
But you know what?
and,
I get that confused with Are You Afraid of the Dark constantly because they were
Are
on
You
the
Afraid
same
of the Dark
time.
was the scarier one.
Yeah,
that was
it
the
definitely
one for the
was.
teenagers. That was the one with like the turned inside out skeleton man that lived in the pool.
Oh, God.
That, like,
Yeah.
It's really horrifying. Like if you saw an image from it, you're like, oh, it's like a rated R movie. Like, this is from a kid's TV show.
Well, like there's a scene in that where like anything you wrote on like a typewriter would come true, and one involved like one of someone's friends getting like buried alive, and so
God.
it's like in like a coffin going, help me, like, and again, this is a show on YTV. Yeah,
Oh my God. Wow.
But I loved it. I and also sidebar, movies today aren't scary enough. Like adult movies.
Yeah, it's true.
That's what I was talking about, the new Hellraiser. Like, I just hope it's as good as the original. And
But
one
what is
and
scary
two.
to you? Like what would
It's not
be
no,
more
no, no.
scary?
It's not. Sorry, I say scary. I mean, I want things to be more violent and
Yes.
gross.
And practical, you mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think the word you're looking for is visceral.
Yes.
You want it to feel more
yeah,
visceral.
I
yeah.
think so. You know?
Gore and blood and nastiness.
Yeah.
No
I wish
slime
the-
though.
Yeah,
I
no,
wish
sorry.
the best to the new Hellraiser, but boy, I saw that trailer and I'm like, wow, it looks like one of the Bulgaria shot ones, that Miramax was putting
I was
out.
also
I don't know,
not
I thought it
impressed.
looked,
I'm not impressed by the trailer just because I thought it looked like a very by the numbers reboot. But hey, I'm still gonna see it, and I
Yeah.
really, really hope it's good.
I thought it looked good. I like the second one quite a bit.
I love the second
when they
one.
go to like the kind of hell,
yeah.
hell dimension imagery. And stuff.
Hellbound. Yeah, that one's awesome.
That
I
one-
love
that
the
one's
third
really
one.
cool.
We've talked about this recently on Twitter. It's the best one where suddenly Pinhead won't shut up. He's like Freddy Krueger.
Oh yeah, the third one is
CD
amazing.
Man.
It's fantastic. I mean,
VHS
that's
man.
worthy of this podcast, but maybe it's all already been said.
Oh,
but
like,
that movie's great.
you
But
got
it's
CD
great in a bad
face.
movie way.
Yeah.
Hellraiser 1 and 2 are perfect, legit body horror movies, and they're so good.
Yeah.
So
well,
I think
we'll
the
see.
issue with horror movies these days is that torture porn pushed it in a direction that was so far that when it snapped back, they never kind of found that balance again of like,
Yeah.
oh, can we get like visceral, like, Hellraiser 2 or Hellraiser 1 without feeling it like, look at the pain.
Yeah,
Isn't this
yeah.
crazy?
Yeah, it went into it's just scary because people are getting trapped in these gross things, and and took out the kind of psychological, I think, element of it.
or imaginative element
Yeah,
of that you get something like
imaginative,
down to.
Yeah, we need to. Well, getting back to the kid stuff, we need stuff that's going to traumatize kids that they
Yes.
talk about in 10 years, going like, oh, did anybody see that? Remember that TV show? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
There's nothing I feel that kids.
Yeah, you have nephews and nieces now. April, are they watching like scary stuff? Like, what is the like,
think
ooh,
so.
spooky thing that a kid would watch now?
My
very young.
nephews and nieces are too young, but like I have friends who have older kids. But every time I go over there, they're just watching like CGI animated stuff on Netflix.
Yeah. I wonder, like, what's going to be the show or thing that they're making YouTube videos about in like.
It's going to be
10,
like
15
decapitation videos they saw on like
No.
DeskTube or something like
God.
that. Yeah. Can you believe how fucked up that is? Because they can see anything. They don't have to go to the 99-cent section and just rent Ernest Scared Stupid.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
true.
exactly.
So getting back to Ernest.
So, all the kids are
kids are
missing.
being killed.
Being
For some
killed.
reason, there's so many kids missing that all the parents are complaining to the sheriff that their kids are missing. They don't know where they are, and yet nobody believes Ernest about this troll. I mean, I understand.
He is
it's-
running
And the
through
troll
the street
is just
yelling,
like-
trolls.
The troll's just killing kids out in the open at this point, too. It's Halloween night, and
Yeah.
he's just like life-size wooden children screaming in agony as they're
For some
transformed.
reason, they all still want to go to this Halloween party at the school.
Yeah.
It's like people are missing. Maybe that's not the thing to do right now, but they.
I
have
was
to do
tricked
it.
into thinking that the Halloween parties were a big thing in like elementary school. I never went to a Halloween party like
Certainly,
after hours.
Yeah,
at
certainly on
school.
after hours. It would always
Yeah.
be.
No way.
You just show up to school, you
In
get
your-
some
in your
treats,
costume.
and then you do the costume.
And then you take off your costume after first period.
Yeah.
'cause you're
You
like,
would,
this sucks.
you would walk around all the other classrooms.
That's right.
And do like a costume parade.
You would go to the gym. We did this in the gym. So everybody in the school went to the gym, and then each like class or grade would have everybody parade on stage to show their costume, and then the judges would like vote for.
Well, I don't think we did any voting, but it was still we all wanted to show off our costume.
Well, this is they do voting in this movie. They go on stage.
All right, that's right.
Yeah, but they have like punch and stuff. It looks like a high school dance or something.
Yeah, and then of course
But
the
first-
troll shows up.
Yeah, but first, Ernest has to fight the troll in his truck in a Mad Max-like sequence.
He does. He like rams into
That
this
was
thing,
crazy.
pins it right into the tree, and then
I mean, Ernest is quipping up a storm. Rimshot's driving the car.
Yep. I
Yeah,
mean,
there's-
another great shot of Rimshot.
there's a fight on top of the truck with Ernest and the troll, and Rimshot is driving. It's absurd.
And Ernest is like yelling out directions where he's like, reverse, Rimshot, reverse.
He can't reverse.
How about a bumper sandwich, booger lips?
Is that what
we
he
said that on the
says?
playground. Yeah.
If I was a kid, I would love Ernest movies.
So there's a weird thing here. I think I missed it, but like at one point someone tells Ernest that like milk is the thing that he needs to defeat the monster with.
Well, it's like M-LK.
Malk.
Or and
Yeah,
he thinks
Malk.
it's something else.
Meowk.
Yeah.
So the costume party happens and the troll shows up, starts turning people, to wood on stage. And Ernest shows up and he's like, you think I couldn't find some meowk? And it's like, I think it's like Belgium or something like that.
Right.
Something or other. I think they made it up for the movie.
Yeah.
I looked it up and it's not real.
Isn't it supposed to be like it's some adhesive or something?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like you got it at the hardware store, but then the
That's a
little
funny
boy
joke.
is like, "Wait a second, milk," because he falls on some ice cream, and then the troll's like, but this is by far the saddest part of the movie.
Oh,
when
poor
Oh, yes.
Rimshot
Rimshot.
gets woodenized.
Yeah.
And they didn't really have a dog-shaped wood thing.
That
so
thing
Ernest
doesn't.
is given, like,
it doesn't have a head. Did you guys notice that?
it looks like
did
a
the
piece
troll like bite off Rimshot's head before turning him into wood?
it looks like a piece of driftwood or something that he found on the beach.
The other ones are like perfectly crafted to look like the kids, and this is like a big lump.
The joke was right there. It should have been a drumstick.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way Ernest plays this scene is so heartbreaking. Like he's so sad.
Like, no,
Wouldn't you be?
I know, but it's like he just plays it so well, and you're like,
Well shot by the director, where it's like the kid's coming with the wooden dog to give to Ernest.
Yeah.
As Ernest is cracking up a storm, as he does, which I remember as a kid, I found it, some cognitive dissonance of Ernest. Like it would cut to him joking and then cut to a kid being killed, then cut to Ernest joking. And I'm like, oh no,
well,
what's
I'm
going
laughing
on?
as an adult. I'm laughing.
Yes, I'm laughing too.
Yeah. Well,
But
I mean-
Ernest, he gets thrown by the troll into like the ice cream
Yeah.
machine or something like that, and he's
Yeah.
covered in. I can only imagine his
Soft
movie ice cream. I don't know what they covered him in, but it looks
Soft serve.
disgusting.
It looks like real ice cream to me.
it looks like jizz.
Oh,
There's some really funny jokes for people watching the movie again, is that anytime the troll gets close to Ernest throughout the movie, he always like knocks milk over, throws milk near the troll, so it always runs away from
He
it.
does. The first time it shows up, when Rimshot's ears go up, he kind of knocks over a tray with milk, and then the troll vanishes.
Yeah, you know, I never noticed that.
Yeah.
Because yeah.
Well, I watched it again because I was making notes.
As a kids movie, I have to say, this film very well structured. All the kids get something to do, lots of ways to destroy the trolls. It accelerates and gets bigger as the movie goes along.
Yep.
It's not like, it's just the milk gag over and over again. They find it's two screenwriters on this film that I don't believe were associated with the Cherry directing unit. So like they brought other people on to do a pass at this.
Yeah,
Even though he has a story by Charles Gale is credit. Let me look. He's just like a journeyman who worked on stuff like Guilty as Charged, Captain Nuke and the Bomber Boys. What the hell is that? Also known as Demolition Day, a Joe Mantegna vehicle. Oh, that sounds like fun.
I'm sold.
And yeah, you know what? He made Ernest Scared Stupid, and he's like, that's all I have to say.
I've said everything I
Nothing
can.
else. Yeah.
I mean, there's a fun sequence here where the kids realize, oh, milk, so they go and raid the grocery store.
Yeah,
He's in a
this is
bike, like knocking cartons into his bag.
They start like a milk militia, heavily armed.
Yeah, they get like squirt guns filled with milk.
This turns into Halloween Kills, the Evil Dies Tonight scene, where the
Yeah,
entire town just gathers up and become vigilantes.
Yeah, the parents all show up, and then they
Well,
come
don't they
in.
want to take Ernest down? No, that's right. They've seen the trolls. So they're like, the
At
trolls
this
are taking
point,
our
yeah.
children.
Earlier, Ernest is fired because nobody believes him. And even the stupid like lead kid won't even back up his story.
Even though he's seen all this stuff going on. I like the scene where the troll man goes, bring me the head of Ernest P. Worrell.
There's also a subplot of like the guy who owns like that store who's like trying to profit off of this whole situation.
the two brothers.
He sells like troll spray, and then
That's right. And those two brothers, one of them is Bill Burge, one of the Ernest mainstays, because he's got a funny looking
Yeah,
face.
that
Oh,
guy.
the little guy.
The guy who's actually
Yeah.
playing the drums earlier and
Right.
does a rim shot.
What are
they were
like,
funny.
What are they? The Canary Brothers or something?
Yeah,
Or
something
like
like
that.
that, yeah.
I don't know.
So
I thought that one of them was more recognizable, but when I looked at his credits, he's been in almost nothing other than UHF playing Crazy Eddie.
well, maybe that's
Oh
what
yeah,
I recognize.
like the
him
big
from.
beefy guy with the cowboy hat.
Yeah, where he's like, come on down to Crazy Eddie, or I'm going to club this seal.
Oh. That's right.
Classic stuff.
So the big showdown is in the forest in front of this big evil tree, and they have to get there before the little baby troll pods burst,
Yeah.
but they don't.
Yeah.
And they hit the ground, and
It's like a
again,
whole troll army
so
rising up
much
from the ground.
Special effects, or
Yeah.
at least like
Yeah.
like costumes for
Each
all these
troll
trolls.
designed differently, like they're all
Yeah.
different looking.
Yeah, it's really well done.
And they're all just going around, rah. They're attacking the parents and the kids, but they're fighting back with the milk. They're throwing milk on them.
So little disappointed that the trolls don't melt horrifyingly
Yeah,
when they
I
get
thought
hit by
that
the
was
milk.
gonna happen.
Kinda
But
just
you see
disappear.
some after effects of them, and it's gross. It's like a pile of red gore.
Oh.
This is
Like
the one effect,
smoke.
I don't like is there's like this weird 2D like red
Yeah.
like lightning thing, and they just disappear. But yeah, they do leave behind slime,
Mm-hmm.
red slime.
And then the main troll, I guess,
He
transforms
like, gets
into
jacked up.
Yeah, it's like this final form, which is
Yeah, he's a super troll.
really
Like, super
disgusting.
Shredder, yeah.
But he has these like face tentacles and stuff. And
It's
Yeah.
gross, yeah.
People have pointed out that some of the troll designs here look like the Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and so maybe the Chioda brothers just reused them. The Chioda brothers are like, no, these are all original trolls
Okay.
that we designed for this
I
movie.
believe them.
How dare you?
Take his word for it.
so yeah, Ernest.
Ernest, all his multiple personalities help defeat all the trolls.
Oh, yeah.
I like that. And like of course makes no sense continuity wise, but who cares? Like they're all
Yeah.
like throwing stuff on them and saying funny things, and it was enjoyable.
So then he learns here, I think, Eartha Kitt, like the heart of a child We'll save you, Ernest.
Yeah, because like the
Ernest.
big bad troll is about to attack him, and the milk is no longer working, and he's like, "That won't work on me because I'm jacked up." He takes steroids essentially.
Yeah, but he's got to use love, you see. So Ernest
He realizes
defeats him through love. He says, "Oh, I love you," and he's like
said,
dancing,
Kissing him,
"Come here,
dancing
little
with them.
fella," and he picks him up and twirls him around, and then the troll explodes.
I still would have.
Oh, and he does explode.
Yeah.
I was very happy
Yeah,
to see that.
I still would have loved it if Ernest was like, I thought you meant literally, heart of a child.
I thought you said I have to fuck the troll.
I just murdered this kid over here.
No, he finally did something right.
Oh, Ernest.
And so all the kids come back to life, including the ones that were from like the 18th or 1900s.
Yeah.
So-
How old is Eartha
But
Kitt
I
that
don't
she's
know.
still alive?
Maybe it wasn't that old, the Pilgrim era.
I don't know. I think it was like the 1800s.
What the weird
or something.
thing is that she takes them and puts them in the tree.
Yeah, I guess that's the only way to.
Okay,
bring
but I'm
them back.
imagining them all like coming back to life and then being squished in a tree.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But instead, they just walk out one by one.
It's just this tiny little hole in the tree that's just pouring blood and screams.
And Ernest is like, everybody's got someone but me.
Guys, I was
And then-
like almost tearing up a little bit.
Yeah, it's very sad.
Sorry.
Again.
Pet things really get to me as his.
But don't worry,
he's fine.
Rimshot's okay.
He's okay. They're
and
not
he
gonna
comes
kill
and sees
Rimshot.
Ernest.
And then he's like kissing him, and then he goes down out of frame, and Eartha Kitt looks at the camera like, "What the fuck?" And
Really?
Yeah, I told you
He's gonna give him a rim
Yeah,
job.
she gives that, and this is the second movie we've watched in recently that ends with a man kissing a dog.
What was the other one?
Summer School.
Oh, with Mark Harmon.
Yeah, and he like goes mwah like that.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah. So I was very, very happy that Rimshot is back, and I mean,
Oh, come on.
like I said,
the
animal
MVP.
things get to me because I have pets. I don't have kids, so I don't care in movies if kids are done away with. But when pets are, I'm crying.
Yeah, it's because pets, they have their own personalities, but you bring a lot because they're innocents. That's why it feels so bad when you see pets get injured.
Exactly. They didn't do anything.
Even though if you're a lion, you could be mean and be killing just for fun.
Well,
Yeah.
they did kill his family, the lion.
That's right. Of Beast. Idris Elba's
What?
Beast.
What?
On our Patreon.
Oh, well, okay. So that's it for Ernest Scared Stupid. This is not a bad movie. And anyone who says it's a bad movie,
No.
I think is
No,
probably
it's not.
just not an Ernest fan.
I think it's just, for me, it's because I didn't watch any of the Ernest films as my first one. If I was a kid, I would have loved this.
But as an adult, you never would have been like, let's watch Ernest.
No.
Why would he ever say that?
Exactly. It plays a little too young, I
Yeah.
think, for me. But whatever, I can appreciate it for what it is.
Well, as we all know, we were at a Halloween party at Justin's house, and he wanted everybody to leave, so he put this movie on.
Then everybody stayed and watched Ernest.
No, we didn't stay. I think we stayed for like the first like 10, 15 minutes because it was late and we were tired. But
Backfired.
that was funny. This is a long time ago.
You should have put on Shube Halloween.
That's
That wasn't out yet.
That's the
Yeah.
new. That's the new go.
This
go
is
home.
that's the generation's Ernest. They get Hubie Halloween.
Yeah,
Sad.
exactly.
Sad.
But yeah, I totally recommend this movie. But I mean, yeah, it is a kids movie. But I think you know what you're getting, and I haven't seen the other Ernest movies, so I can't say how they all stack up. But I feel like there's quality here in the craft, and the humor works pretty good, and it's not offensive or overly annoying.
Now
I don't think.
I want to see Ernest Goes to Africa now.
No, you do not want to see Ernest Goes to Africa. I would recommend Ernest Goes to Jail.
Yeah.
And hey, man, the Christmas season's coming up. Ernest Saves Christmas.
Okay, I'll check the jail one out because I remember, I think you were playing it or something, but yeah, every time they would cut to like the evil Jim Varney,
It's
it was really
bizarre
funny.
from what I recall.
Because he was all like kind of handsome and like,
Oh, yeah.
he had this like slick back hair.
Like slick back hair.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so Ernest Scared Stupid, I forgot to check where it's available because we watched it.
It's on iTunes.
Oh, it's on iTunes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Wouldn't it be? It's weird that it's not on Disney because it is a Disney film. So
Touchstone,
I would assume It's on
right.
Disney
Yeah,
Plus.
must be some kind
It's
of
not
deal.
though. I'm looking here.
Huh.
You know what? Maybe it's one of those things where they're holding it off so they can release it slowly. Like, because If they just put
Yeah, they
everything
want their
on it.
Ernest stock to get like
Dude,
better.
you
They're
know
like,
that
"Oh,
they'll
we
do a big tweet like all the Ernest movies now on Disney Plus. You know, like they can't just
So,
put everything out. At
Ernest
once.
Save Christmas is on Disney Plus, but
okay.
Ernest
Remember,
Goes
it
to
was
Camp
only
is
certain
not.
ones.
Yeah.
It was only like 4 of them or something. It was very weird.
Right. Yeah. We couldn't find it there, but apparently it's rentable on iTunes.
All right.
And maybe there'll be a Criterion Ernest.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Vinegar Syndrome $80 Ernest in 4K Scared Stupid box.
Yeah, James Cameron's doing like a 4K restoration re-release.
They're going to re-release it in theaters in 3D.
Yeah.
So if you want to email the podcast, we're at nossuchthingasabadmovie@gmail.com. And if you want to support us on Patreon, patreon.com/nosuchthingasabadmovie. If you're on the $5 level and up, you get a little bonus episode every 2 weeks. We just recorded one, as we said, on Beast, starring Idris Elba against some CGI lions. So check that out. And we also talk about other things, James Cameron included. So check that out. And
What about the commentary track we've recorded? Is that on Patreon? What level do you have to be to get that?
oh, well, you also can get that on the $5 level. We recorded a full-length commentary track on Disney's The Wild. Speaking of Disney Plus, it's available on
Speaking
there.
of lions,
That's
Oh,
right,
yeah.
lions. Yeah, and so if you CGI lions,
Yeah.
If you want to sync that up, it's on Disney Plus, or you could just listen to it without syncing it up because lots of fun info on there, lots of laughs, talking about this forgotten Disney movie of the mid 2000s. And we're also on Twitter at No Such Thing Pod if you want to connect with us there. And I am on Twitter and Instagram at April Atmansky.
you can follow me on Twitter, DeclouJ, DECLOUX, the letter J. Check on there if you want to see 24 hours of horror movies at some point in October. I'll be posting updates there. And you can also check out the Important Cine Club podcast, which I do every week.
Woohoo!
You can follow me on Twitter. I'm Sergeant Zima, SGTZIMA.
And that's it for this week. More spooky movies to come, people. Let's keep the horror train coming. I'm April Atmansky.
I'm Jocelyn DeGlow.
I'm Colin Corpse Cunning. Oh, yeah, because it's not Thanksgiving. Not October.
Again.
God damn it.
And remember, there's no such thing as a bad movie.
I just wasn't made for this.
Why
I have
do you
to.
keep thinking about Thanksgiving?
I don't know.